I'm seeing so much go, the other way. And now it's looking like something's finally starting to happen, positive or whatever, and they're getting some control over the matter.
I think building that wall is the biggest mistake ever because it's billions of dollars wasted for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yes, there are criminals, and we should clean them out and stop them from coming here. Not only from Mexico, from every other country.
Build the wall, go ahead. There's going to be tunnels, there's going to be other ways to get around. There's not going to stop anybody. There's been walls, there's been laws implemented, there's been higher security, it hasn't stopped anybody, so it's not really going to stop anybody.
More voices of Arizona voters on President Trump, and we're taking a look now at President Trump's political impact on Arizona next year. National polls show President Trump's base is still almost 100% with him. Matt, what does that tell you about Republican politicians running next year, like a Governor Ducey? How closely are they going to have to align themselves with President Trump?
Well, I think that they have a lot of similarities. One of the biggest similarities between Governor Ducey's leadership and President Trump's is the cut on job-killing regulations. And so they both have business backgrounds, and they're both going to help our economy get back on track.
So flip side for you, what if Doug Ducey gets stuck to Donald Trump? Is that a problem?
Indeed. I think we're seeing the early makings of an anti-Trump wave. I'm predicting that. As we've seen in 13 out of 16 state assembly races across the country, there's significant shifts towards Democratic turnout. We've seen it in Kansas district, the congressional special election in Georgia. And how that impacts Arizona is for Governor Ducey. I think he's going to be in for the fight of his life in re-election, perhaps even Jeff Flake. It's hard to step away from national politics, and those fundamentals impact local races just as much. And I think we're going to see that Arizona, and Arizona's going to be a top-tier target for Democrats in 2018.
You see it that way?
I don't. Well, first, they can have their anti-Trump wave, but we're not going to sit by. And we have our own support for our president and for the Republican Party, and we're going to meet them head on. And I don't think that you're going to see any Democratic movement or successful Democratic movement here in Arizona without some feedback. The second.
Yeah, I was going to say, bring back the policy side, though. I wonder how big a threat Obamacare might be to Doug Ducey if it does go away. If you have the people covered under the Medicaid expansion losing their coverage next year. How big an issue could that be at the state level for Republicans if you have all these people now suddenly without health insurance?
Well, I don't think that we're going to see a lot of people without health insurance. What I think and I predict is that Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced, and we're going to see something much better.
In time for next year's elections?
Yes.
Josh?
First off, if they don't get anything done this year, they're not going to take away insurance or do a new health care bill in an election year, is my opinion. And again, the revival of Trump Care that we're looking at right now would in fact take away the subsidies that helps hardworking families pay for or subsidize their Medicaid. And there's 2 million Arizonans on that. 600,000 of them are children. So that is a catastrophically political move should the Trump administration and Congress decide to do that.
But I see that they're working back and forth, and we see changes every single day to the legislation that's being proposed. And I think that they are going to come up with a solid solution that all Americans, and especially Arizonans, can get behind. And we'll see a lot more health insurance providers come back to Arizona.
Oh. Well, I just want to end with a wild card question. We were expecting Donald Trump to somehow get Sheriff Joe Arpaio, former Sheriff Joe Arpaio, off the hook in his criminal contempt case. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Do you think Donald Trump will do a favor for one of his top endorsers? Help him out with a pardon or just dropping the charges?
I don't see it happening unless former Sheriff Arpaio has a friend in the White House other than Trump, because I see the White House so chaotic right now that has to be the last thing on their priority list to help Sheriff Arpaio.
Would you like to see the White House help the sheriff out and just make these charges go away?
What I would like to see is Sheriff Joe continue to fight against these charges, and I think that he'll prevail.
All right. Matt Kenney, Josh Zaragoza, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.